Doc, what do you say? We are not looking at the content of the meeting, what the meeting was really about. We are looking at this little problem. Yeah. I don't know if you find it to be a small problem, though.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think that it is an institutional failure. The president needs help. If you look at the responsibilities of a president and the bureaucracy that is, has to back him. I remember, the U.S. once issued a report on the White House, what they normally refer to as the Brownlow's report. The last sentence in that report says that the president needs help. And that is what gave birth to the bureaucracy that we see, in the White House. Now you are looking at an institution that really has to connect all of us. The relationship between government and the people, relationship between individuals and so on, relationship between Ghana and the rest of the world, and how best we can live as dignified people. And so the president is not for nothing that we call him the #1 citizen. So because that's the public face of Ghana. And so as a chair of ECOWAS, you also will expect that things will also work. I mean, we are not talking about his stewardship as the chairman. I mean, no doubt about it that he's discharged his responsibilities creditably. So what it means is that we need to figure out, these are things which will give way for some reinvigoration, institutional reinvigoration, to look at what really happened. Maybe there may be a slip. No, if it's a slip and a genuine mistake.
He couldn't find some pages of his speech.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying.
What's the big deal? In any case, he was able to continue with his speech.
Yeah, it is.
He did it example.
But yeah, he did that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The person's, communication skills are not in doubt at all. And that is why he was able to. That's why even in the selection of a leader, you must be interested in somebody who has the presence of mind to think on his feet and be able to pull through some of these difficult situations. That is not to suggest that we must literally leave him to be able to deal with some of these emergencies. What is the administrative backup doing? And whose fault was it? You understand? It might be a genuine mistake. And I would think that if it's a genuine mistake, we don't necessarily have to call for heads to roll, but we may have to relook. That's why I'm saying that we'll call for some institutional reconfiguration to see how best we can, deal with this, subsequently. Because as a person, as a president of the republic, when he has that platform, and not just an ordinary president, but the chair of the ECOWAS, you expect that things will be, up to speed. Things will be delivered, in that regard.
Yesterday he made a joke of it, created humor out of it when he delivered the speech in Oxford. He began by saying, well, he needed to check whether he's got all the pages of his speech together before he would deliver that message. Very inspirational one that he delivered yesterday. Some say this is big deal. It's so unpardonable. Others say, why? Sonny, it's a human institution. His handlers and everybody else are human and are subject to, mistakes. So why, what's a big deal, really?
Well, it was an embarrassing situation. No doubt about that. I'm sure the president himself was embarrassed. The good people of this country and the country were embarrassed, even if momentarily. The ECOWAS heads of states there would have been embarrassed or surprised. Everybody would have been taken aback. So it is not an incident that you would wish happened. You would want to be in a hurry to forget. So that is my judgment on the incident itself. But yesterday, I think for the first time on a very official level, a certain hint of an explanation came in his comments when he said that, he realized that the 2 pages were missing, and he found out that they had been taken in the course of photocopying for the media. That's why the 2 pages got missing. That's a hint of an official explanation. Before then, some media reports, newspapers close to the party, the ruling party, I think in this case the Daily Post, had dropped some hint of that sort. I myself on Wednesday, before I appeared on Kwame Sefakai's program, I did some checks and it still went in that direction of the photocopying saga. I then had no way of authenticating it, so I said so on a note of caution. People have been very skeptical about that explanation, but now it's come from the president himself. He didn't give details.
But that's acceptable?
Let me tell you why I think that is what happened. I'm finding it very difficult to disclose my source, but I would have to be fair with the facts as I found out. If under some compelling circumstances I have to disclose my source, I will do so. But apparently, this is a president who does final editing of his speeches. The draft is generated by a team, a communication team that assists him. And then he does the final editing to the draft. And then he emails it to the communication hub for them to further forward it to all the appropriate relevant recipients, those who deserve to receive media and all the rest. I receive a lot of communications from, I'm sure your station does, Gmail.
Right.
Now, it appears, not that it appears, it is that on this particular occasion, after he had finished doing the final editing, that transmission was not done. He who should have transmitted that final, the edited draft to the communications hub did not do so. In this case, it happens to be the president himself. So, because of pressure of work, the heads of states had appeared the night before, all sorts of dinner and things. So that did not happen. Now, he had printed out a copy for himself, the hard copy, which was the one in the possession of his aide, the one who follows him everywhere. So it was at the conference center that the communications guys realized that they had not received that soft copy. So they went then to his aide and told the aide that it's too late to get this thing emailed to us. So the hard copy you are holding, give it to us and let's run and go and make photocopies for the media and anybody who was deserving of it. In the process of doing that photocopying, the 2 pages got missing. This is what happened.
And what do you say about what happened?
No, I say it was embarrassing. And indeed, those who took the hard copy, a little due diligence, vigilance, could still have avoided the situation where the 2 could have gotten missing.
However, we should move on. It's okay, so we should move on. Like Doc said, there's no need to call for any heads to roll or whatever because of the line of responsibility also.
That's just a fact, but it means that if there must be sanctioned, it must be on a lighter note. Cannot be severe. If you know that when you look at the lines of responsibility,
right,
the boss himself was a contributing factor.
I see. From the facts that Kuku shared with us, do you find that we should, still feel that this is, a situation that someone ought to suffer for?
Well, thank you. We all know that there are what we call speech writers. People must have to generate some information. But depending upon the individual, it's not everybody who just goes to read. And I can tell you that as a former Minister of State, you have such speech writers sometimes who try to put something out there for you. You might have to look at it again, maybe agree or disagree with some of the points that they have put out. Because remember that they are not members of cabinet. So they might be sitting there as pure technocrats, might not know the policy underpinnings, that might have led to a particular decision being taken and the rest. Now you also have personal assistants. We have these military escorts or special aids and all that. And you find that when you are going to such meetings, we have somebody carrying something under his armpit, following you.
That's the one you took from the guy.
So it's when you go, you get set, then he will come and put it there and all that. So the explanation, it's okay in the sense that these things do happen. Of course, I mean, as for the embarrassment, it was huge for everybody to see a president in the middle of a speech saying that he's lost some pages. You remember the Victoria Amma incident where she said that, look, this is not what I edited, and what you are giving me is not, what
she felt she had been set up.
Exactly. So in a case she was, one would have, with hindsight, thought that perhaps a similar situation might have, occurred. But with all these explanations, I think that we should move on, and next time everybody should be very careful.
Right.
Apparently, the president, when the photocopy was, the hard copy, which had been sent for photocopy, was brought back to him, he began, according to the source. According to the source. I don't know if I have to tell the source, but he began to read it and got to the 4th page. But because he was the first to talk and the program had reached that stage, he was asked to deliver the welcoming address. So he reached only the 4th page. Perhaps if he had finished reading, he would have noticed the 2 missing pages. But he was the first to deliver.
Okay. Okay. Now, Kofi, how did you feel personally when the president, found himself in that situation? How did you feel?
Sure. Nobody will feel comfortable in such a situation. It's like saying, it's like an accident. Accidents happen every day. But when it happens to somebody close to you or it happens to you, you will not feel happy about it. So it isn't a situation that anybody will want to happen to even a district chief executive, a minister, let alone a president. But what is, for me, what made the day was the capacity and the capability of His Excellency the President to be able to carry on and conclude his speech on the very issues that were supposed to be on those last 2 pages that went missing.
We may not be too sure about how he was able to cover it.
Oh, sure, because because
the setting will need be exactitude of
of course it won't be, but I mean the issues. I didn't say word for word. I'm saying the issues, because he took active part in the development of the script. So it is easier for you to know that these are the issues that I want to talk about.
Has the script been published in full? Has there been a publication of the script?
Publication of the the secretariat, the ECOWAS secretariat.
Subsequent.
I'm not aware of.
Maybe we would need that.
The secretariat, of course, the ECOWAS secretariat has the details of the speech.
But like you say, this is an accident. I mean, sometimes it happens.
You see,
not to when was it? Barack Obama.
Yes.
He had to deliver a speech. His handlers did not forgot to load it on the prompter.
So he was trying to speak and speak. It wasn't.
He discovered that the thing was not available.
Not there. So he had to wait.
He called for them, and then they brought the copy for him to read.
So it happens.
With it. Yes,
it's
very nice joke. Yeah,
such things happen.
Yeah.
In his case, he was trying to. You see, that is what technology does. The modern photocopiers, you can load all the pages into the machine and then just press, and it will take the first page, photocopy, second page, and so on and so forth. So when you load, and what comes out, your assumption is that technology has worked completely and everything you put in has come out. That was what happened on this day.
Right.
If it were to be the old type of photocopiers, where you have to put first page and photocopy completely, then take the next page and do, this would not have happened. These are some of the challenges.
Saying that if anybody at all ought to be sanctioned or reprimanded, it should be a mild one because the president himself contributed to this.
I don't think the president contributed to
Are you challenging
because no, I'm telling you that the president's speech doesn't get out until he has delivered it.
You didn't get my explanation.
No, what I'm saying is that
he explained what is the protocol which was not followed this time.
Get the point
I'm saying that yes, the protocol has always been to aid that process. That the president finish his speech and then it is released. So if on this occasion you have not received the email copies, you are not at the time of the function to go take for what? Photocopy.
You should wait for him to finish.
To finish.
Okay.
Then you can take it and then do the copies.
Yeah, so
but I'm not so, you cannot say that the president is necessarily to
blame.
But
He's saying that don't blame the president because,
I agree with you.
Because whoever went to take...
I say he was a contributor.
Yeah, the contribution. He said take it away.
Take it away.
Because
completely.
whoever went for that copy shouldn't have done it. Should have waited for him to finish.
The aide shouldn't have given out the copy.
Shouldn't have
waited for him to finish,
So
and then
now
they
we
make
are
copies.
drawing in more people.
So what I'm saying is that, no, but I agree with you. I even want to say that there should even be no punishment.
Okay.
I believe that there should be no punishment.
All right.
That we should learn lessons out.
Maybe a reprimand.
Yeah,
if
a
you go to
reprimand.
do photocopy and you are vigilant and diligent.
Surely.
There's no way to copy.
A reprimand is okay. A reprimand is okay.
Okay.
People have been talking about somebody must resign, somebody must lose his job out of this. I don't think that we should get to that point. We should learn something out of this. But for me, what was most important is what Dr. Agre talked about, where the president, at the end of the day, was able to, and you must have leaders who, on their feet, when confronted with such situation, can have a way of dealing with. Don't forget, you are speaking before the international community, and I think that the president did very well on this occasion, and all terms went for him.
Okay. About whether he did well or
That's
not.
the point.
It was supposed to be a side issue, so can we move on? Can we just say that
He did well.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, that's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
Don't force me to talk the way you want to talk.
But you should see how the president himself felt.
Yes,
You could tell that he was very unhappy
I'm saying
about
that
it.
accidents happen every day. When it happens to you, doesn't mean because it happens every day you'll be happy and
So
say,
let's talk about the accident.
Thank you very much.